On March 12th of 2025, in the second leg between Atlético de Madrid and Real Madrid, the score was 1-0 favoring Atlético de Madrid. Thus, the global score being 2-2, which forced it to go to extra time and penalties. Real Madrid won. Let's go. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a new video on the channel, Kicking It with Cahoots. And we have a lot to discuss about this. And I'm going to go over the match just a tiny bit, but just letting you know, I have a lot to cover from the opinions, from what it's being said after the match. There were some controversial things, some not as controversial as the media is making it sound, but you know how it goes. We're just going to be here and answering to all these ridiculous claims, but we're gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun because it's getting, you know, if you get upset about these things, you're just gonna be miserable the whole time. So let's laugh at these guys a little bit. Let's put things in perspective. I do want to be respectful where I have to be, but since the media is not handling this well, this pain, since Atletico representatives, fans, owners, CEOs, their media people are not handling this well at all, we're going to have to dive into this and give them some answers. Give them some answers that they're probably not going to like to hear and they're not going to admit. I'll include the anti-Madridistas in this, which means the culés will be involved in this, and that's okay. We're going to answer all of this. We're going to go over everything that's happened from the match to the controversial things to the press conference by Diego Simeone, which is hilarious, and we're just going to laugh at these people for a little bit since they have no respect for anybody else. That's just, gotta be honest with you guys, that's the way it's going to go today. Let's laugh, let's enjoy this moment because it's just another one. It's just another one, and let's get started. 2024-25, the first leg, we went over this. It was 2-1 favoring Real Madrid. In the second leg, Atletico won 1-0, and we ended up going to penalties, and we won 4-2. But let's go over this match that we're discussing right now. The match started off the bat right away. Atletico, within 30 seconds, scoring a goal, 1-0. From here, Real Madrid's plan was to, before they got scored on, the plan was for Atletico to want to attack so they can tie the series, and from there Real Madrid can use the space to do the counter with Mbappe, Rodrigo, Vini, Bellingham, Valverde, whoever you want. That was the plan, but in 30 seconds they scored, and from there this match is a weird one because I can say that both teams deserve to win and both teams deserve to lose, but let's go over some of the things. So, 30 seconds, within 30 seconds, they scored a goal. 119 minutes passed with no particular real threat. Atletico did look a little more dangerous, but those attacks with a goalie like Thibaut Courtois, it's not going to cut it. So, yeah, I mean, I was nervous, I'm not going to lie. And to be honest with you guys, for this year, for the first time, I felt like we could not beat them. Atletico has been looking really, really well. This is the strongest I've seen them in a while. And Real Madrid has not been particularly looking well. But all that being said, it was 119 minutes that passed with no particular threat. Nothing, especially from Atletico, you know, they're playing at home. They tried a little bit, but not too much. Their strategy just became to hold back. Real Madrid had possession with nothing dangerous at all. I mean, Atletico's goalie, Oblak, really did not do anything major. No threats really happened to them. So Real Madrid playing this poorly, we went into extra time. And then at that point, I think Atletico had like a chance. But Real Madrid basically was looking stronger at that point. From there, we go penalties. And in the penalties, the score goes Mbappe scoring the first goal, Sorloth for Atletico scoring the first goal, Bellingham scoring the second penalty. Julian Alvarez scores the second penalty, but because he slipped, he touched the ball twice. We'll go over this in a little bit. The score didn't go up. The goal didn't count, even though the ball went in. Okay, we'll get into that in a little bit, I promise. From there, it's Valverde who shoots it, and he scores. So 3-1. Then comes, I believe it was Correa. Correa scores 3-2. Lucas Vazquez misses for Real Madrid, so the score stays 3-2. And then Llorente comes and shoots. He misses, hits the post, so the score stays 3-2. And from there, Rudiger, all he had to do was score the penalty. Oblak almost catches it. However, the ball still goes in, and Real Madrid wins. It's amazing. It's amazing what the mental part of this must have been for them, because Real Madrid played horrendous. Even though they had more possession, there was really no intention. It was well defended. It was well defended by Atletico, and I'll get into this situation with Atletico and defending, because sometimes when you see that your rival is vulnerable, is not looking well, they're not being able to attack, you must go for it. Especially when you have the fans behind you, you're playing at home, and you started with a bang. You started with a 1-0 right away. You must go for the game. The score is tied at that point. The global score is 2-2. With everything on your side, all they did was, in the beginning they tried a little bit, but nothing too dangerous, And I watched the match 3 times. Vinny missed a penalty in the 72nd minute, I believe it was. And I have to be honest here, Vinny looked bad. Just flat out bad. I'm not sure if he's playing with an injury. I'm not sure if this Balón de Oro thing that he didn't get affected him, but he has not been having his dominant season that he normally tends to have. I want to say something about Mbappe. Mbappe not really having a great game. I cannot give him anything less than a 7 because Mbappe caused the penalty, which Vini missed. I'll get into this penalty in a second. But from there, in extra time, I think it was, or towards the end of the match, he ran back, did a slide tackle to recover the ball. From there, Mbappe did something wonderful too. He took the first penalty in the shootouts to give confidence. You can tell that he was motivated to win. He took leadership, he took the team on his shoulders, and he took over. Later on, when Llorente missed that penalty, Llorente, being an Atletico player, had the ball in his hands, in his feet, running back. And from the looks of it, he was going to try to talk smack or do something to upset Rudiger, in which Mbappe, he has to be on the midfield part and like in the center of the field, but he ran towards those guys and basically did not let Llorente even get involved with Rudiger, grabbed the ball from him and gave it to Rudiger. That way there was no not an interaction between the two. Something that I liked. This is not time to play around. He has to go with Rudiger has to go with his mind cleared without having to listen to that little guy cry. And that's it. That's how it was. And I loved the way we won against them. Loved it. But before I get deeper into all this stuff, I also want to say that when Vini missed the penalty, the leadership that Jude Bellingham has is amazing. So 74th minute or something like that, the penalty, Vini misses it wildly. And rather than being upset, Jude Bellingham goes and shows him support and love and tells him that we're just gonna keep going. Don't put your head down, keep your head up. Let's go. This is a 21, 22-year-old doing this. It's fascinating to see how mature Jude Bellingham is for his age. It's amazing to see. Jude Bellingham at the same time, and this is why I'm saying he's a leader. Vinny had the ball, he was trying to juke somebody or whatever, and they ended up stealing the ball from him, but he stayed down on the floor, not even pretending to be injured, he just stayed down on the floor, being lazy and tired, in which Jude Bellingham had to make an extra effort to cut that counter, and Jude Bellingham let Vinny have it, And that's what a good teammate is. I think teammates need to hold each other accountable. Jude Bellingham has every single right to be upset with Vinny in that case, but it's things that stay on the field, and after that, it's over, you know. But it was a crucial time, and we did not need Vinny to be on the floor laying down, frustrated and pissed off, you know. I want to talk about the things that I did not like in the game, and it's about the reffing. The reffing was overall fantastic. You know, it was great. My issue with it is that we went over this in the first match. There was a possible penalty on that they made on that they did on Rodrigo. It was this little hold from the hand that didn't allow Rodrigo to pass it. That's a penalty that wasn't given. That's one. That's one. And I'm only bringing this up because I'm going to talk about this penalty and how they're talking about robbery. So if we're going to talk about robbery, let's point out some of the mistakes that the ref made in this, according to Real Madrid fans and people in general. The handball. Okay, so it was like minute 19, and again Vini was going down through the left side attacking, and he centered the ball, and Giuliani Simeone, Diego Simeone's son, extends his hand. I mean, he's running, and it's not really a natural thing because he just, as you can see in these images, he just puts his hand back and it touches him. That's a clear penalty. I'm sure the VAR reviewed it, but they felt like it wasn't strong enough. I'm sure there was pressure. Atletico's playing at home. They probably didn't want that. I get it. I'm not making a big fuss about it, but it's something that I noticed. The other thing I noticed was in the Mbappe penalty, the foul that they did on Mbappe, Lenglet, the Atletico player, should have had a red card. Look at this image over here. He's last man. He's not going for the ball. I don't know how this person did not get a red card. The referee has to be better at this. I don't think it's ill-intended, but these are mistakes that, I mean, there has to be some sort of consistency with this stuff, you know. And not too long after that, Brahim, this is what happened. Check this out. Check this move out. And the Atletico player never goes for the ball. It's a soft penalty, but it is a penalty. But again, like I said, no ill intentions. Let's get into this controversial thing that everyone's talking about that honestly, I don't understand it. Look at this image over here. Julian Alvarez is taking a penalty during the shootout. He slips, the supporting leg, the left leg, slips, touches the ball a little bit, and he kicks it. It's all very fast. I did not see it at first glance, but it happened. The rule says, according to this law, there was a double touch by Julian Alvarez, right? So the decision was based on Law 14 of the International Football Association Board, IFAB, which governs penalty kicks. According to this law, the player taking the penalty must not touch the ball again until it has touched another player. A double touch, even if accidental, as occurred when Alvarez slipped and contacted the ball with both feet, violates this rule, leading to a disallowance of the goal. Look at these images. Look at this little clip right here. Where do you, like, it is clear. It's minimal, but it's clear. I don't know what you guys want. 3 feet to pass, like for a touch to not count. Like, whether it's a small touch, whatever it is, rules are rules, man. Like, I don't understand why everyone's making such a big deal about it. It sucks. It sucks. It's unfortunate, yes, but that's it. Stop crying, dude. Stop crying. Like, there's nothing to be complaining about this. Rules are rules, man. And if you guys want to sit here now, if the UEFA and other clubs and the FIFA want to sit down and discuss it, that's fair. I'm all for that. I think it's a little bit harsh, but I want to understand the rule a little bit more. There's a reason why these rules were implemented this way. And this is not the first time that this happens. It's not. Take a look at this little clip right here, and it's going to show you the other times that this has happened recently.
La discordia. Champions League. Copa de Alemania. Gol. 2 toques. Anulado. Premier League. Gol. 2 toques. Anulado. Copa Libertadores. Gol. 2 toques. Anulado. Volvamos al penalti. Gol. 2 toques.
I also want to say for Julian Alvarez, who's nothing less than like he's a top class player, good behavior, very, very mature kid, one of the best strikers in the world right now. I want to tell him to keep his head up. It sucks that it happened. He played an amazing game. He's having an outstanding season. Applaud him for his comments on X. And here's what he said. He said, "It hurts to lose after leaving everything on the field and fighting till the last minute. It wasn't given to us, but this team showed leadership, character, and heart. Thank you to the fans for always being there and singing and keep chanting and supporting the club, the team, and making every game be special. Now we have to look forward and focus on what's coming to on the coming events or the coming games." And he congratulates Real Madrid. Julian Alvarez, you're a class act, and for your own good, don't ever do that again. Because Atletico fans don't appreciate that. Atletico fans are not understanding of those things. Just ask Raul Jimenez. He said that he was a supporter of Real Madrid, and not too long after that, pew, they sold him to the Premier League, I believe. So we love you, and I appreciate it. Everyone in the world thinks you're a class act, but your own fans might not appreciate that too much. We'll see. I also want to show you this image of Asensio showing support and love to Barrios, a player from Atletico that was probably devastated from the loss, you know. And then from there, I also want to give props to UEFA for not falling the temptation of mixing the politics that are outside of it, the problems that Real Madrid has with UEFA about the Super League, for not mixing the referees and trying to harm them this time. UEFA referees, ever since Senes Erzik and all that nonsense happened, I think UEFA has had some, for the most part, good refereeing. Mistakes are made left and right. Any mistakes that happen, I don't see any malicious or like a pattern. You know, so it's always good to see fair play. You know, having Gilmarin, the president or CEO of Atlético de Madrid in the ECA, which is the club's organization within UEFA, having Gilmarin, the Atlético's CEO, also being in the executive committee of UEFA. The referees are not being partial, they're being impartial. Let's get into Vinny's reactions after. Vinny had a few tweets saying, how does it feel? In Madrid, there's only one Madrid, but everybody knows that. You know, he saw a banner on the stadium saying, "This year, yes," by Atletico fans, and he answered, "This year, no." Rodrigo also went on X and said, everything continues the same. He loves Madrid. Carvajal put, Madrid is white. Yani, there's no other team in Madrid. From there, Seedorf commented at some point something like this from the celebrations of Real Madrid at the stadium. Seedorf, an ex-Real Madrid player and a class act, basically said something like this: "I didn't like Real Madrid players' gestures towards Atletico fans. You have to have respect. Some of the things I saw I can't talk about here on the broadcast. When you win, you have to have the right values. You have to know how to win." Seedorf, respectfully, you must not remember what Atletico fans and Atletico's club is. So let's go over some of the things that have happened that I think is a little bit justifiable, okay? Because the feeling that I'm getting here is that Real Madrid players are just sick and tired of Atletico's behavior and the way Atletico has been treating Real Madrid, okay? On the pitch, off the pitch. So let's go over some of the things that have happened, okay? Atletico has skeletons in their closet, or should I say in their rivers. The river that from all the bitching and crying that they've done that have happened, it has created a river through Madrid. In that river, there has been, to put it mildly, because I don't know what I'm allowed to say on YouTube or not, things have been found, okay? And I'll leave you some articles while I'm discussing this with you. Not only do they have skeletons in the river, but their club decided to sell beach balls, those like little red and white balls that you see at the beach, for the mockery of Vinicius Balón de Oro. Instead of saying Balón de Oro, it's saying Balón de Playa. Like, you're not a Balón de Oro, you're just a soccer player that plays at the beach. Okay? Which, that one is the least of the harmful things. But there's chance against Vini calling him a monkey or a chimpanzee. There's chance of Asensio wishing Asensio death. Thibaut Courtois' plaque that Atletico did in honor of him, as Thibaut Courtois, our goalie, used to be Atletico's goalie. The honor that they did for him, they keep throwing things on it, putting little rats. You can see in these images. And later on, they just removed it because the fans can't tolerate anything. The little X tweets or whatever they left on X, these little basic instructions on how to prepare for a match, all these things that they did in mockery of Real Madrid after they left, after releasing an official complaint to the Spanish Football Federation and the Higher Sports Council. These are the things that they did. This mockery, these like nonsense jokes of something far more severe that has happened. So all these little tweets, right? These guys, these fans, have bought an inflatable doll with Vinny's jersey on it, and they went and hung it off a bridge in Madrid. Okay, in the past, one of their players in the B team bit Vinny Jr. What else do they do? They step on our logos while we don't, and we respect their logo. While taking a picture of the captains, their captain hides the Real Madrid flag, while our captain, or our ex-captain, shows and respects their flag. Simeone, their coach, acts like this. But it's okay because CR7 let him have it back. There was a little 8-year-old girl that went to an Atletico match against Real Madrid, and she went with her mom. She wore a Vinny jersey. And I don't want to talk about the things that happened there, but I'm going to post them here so you guys can see it. It's sad. So having all this information, having Simeone say that we've been robbing for 102 years, always saying that the league is dangerously prepared for Real Madrid, that the league is adulterated. Meanwhile, it's Real Madrid that wants to change the system. Having all of this and this build-up, and after everything that Vinny has been through, if Vinny wants to show them and tell them that you have 0 champions, he has 2, and the club has 15, homeboy, I don't know what to tell you. If you can give it, then you can take it. If you can dish them out, then you can take them too. And Vinny has a personality, and I'm glad he did what he did. I wish he had played better and scored some goals on them, but it's okay. And so to answer Seedorf, my guy, I don't think they did enough. They spit on all the players. They were throwing things at them. So that just sounded for me like a release from the players. Now, let's go back to their coach, Simeone. Diego Simeone, during the press conference, did this.
Hola Diego, en directo, José Rodríguez, Radio Marca. Has comentado ahora que viendo las tomas de la televisión no hay una toma clara, perdona por volver a la jugada del penalti de Julián, que la toque 2 veces. No sé si has hablado con él y si le has preguntado directamente a Julián si él tiene la sensación de haberla tocado o no.
Pero yo, una pregunta a ustedes, por ahí ustedes lo vieron, yo el penal no lo vi, no, viste que me quedé, por ahí no me vieron, pero yo me quedé caminando sin ver la tanda de penal. ¿Ustedes lo vieron? ¿Ustedes lo vieron? ¿Qué vieron? ¿Pero qué vieron? ¿La tocó o no la tocó?
Yo no lo sé, por eso digo que si le has preguntado
¿pero la viste?
a él. Yo digo que por eso te pregunto.
¿Pero la viste o no la viste?
Yo vi la repetición.
¿Y qué viste?
Cómo sale el balón rebotado.
Pero
por eso yo no lo tengo claro, por eso te pregunto si tú hablaste
miedo. Si tienes miedo, porque después te van a
No, yo te pregunto.
Noble, si
yo
te
tienes
miedo.
No, yo te pregunto.
Cualquiera de los que está acá presente vio que la pelota la tocó 2 veces Julián, levante la mano.
Yo te pregunto si
¿Quién levanta la mano? Vamos. ¿Quién levanta la mano? ¿Quién levanta la mano? Bien, ¿quién tocó la pelota 2 veces Julián? No la levanta nadie. Listo,
pero
otra
Julián,
pregunta.
¿qué te dijo?
No hablé con él, si me fui solo a caminar por ahí atrás.
You want to know why nobody answered you, Diego Simeone? Because of this.
Vamos. ¿Quién levanta la mano? ¿Quién levanta la mano? Bien, ¿quién tocó la pelota 2 veces Julián? No la levanta nadie. Listo, otra pregunta.
¿Qué te dijo?
Simeone, my guy, you've lowered the bar way too much. Come on, man. You're better than that. But the humor in this is that Dani Ceballos, a Real Madrid player, answered with this. And honestly, I can't really blame them. I mean, if you really think about it, these guys that like to pull a lot of pranks did this. They put a banner on a bridge on top of a highway, where they put it on the wrong side. I don't get it, bro. Do you think that the person driving is gonna look back while they're driving? Very smart, clever move. Also, these people don't know how to put up a flag. That's the level of maturity that we're dealing with. This loser mentality. Simeone, after the match, when they lost, in penalties, grabbed all his players and somehow did a victory lap so they can be applauded by the fans. This is why you're never going to win. Look, the loss was tough, and you should be proud of your team. But you cannot celebrate being eliminated in the round of 16. But if the fans are okay with it, we know the level of IQ that they have, well, it all makes sense, I guess. A loser mentality. During his press conference, he said something like, "Ooh," he's like, "we played so well, and yeah, Real Madrid won, but when they're alone, man, when they're alone, they're going to remember us, and they're going to remember how tough it was on them to advance. Congrats, bro, you were tough to beat, but we always beat you, so that's how long it took us to think about you, and then we move on. There's more important things for these players to think about, like winning games and titles and Champions Leagues and leagues, and move on, bro. You're not the only club that we play." So, a club that hasn't removed their hooligans from their stadiums, unlike Barca and Real Madrid. They keep them there. These hooligans, last match, it was the first match, Atlético versus Real Madrid in La Liga. The game had to be stopped because they were throwing lighters and other objects at Thibaut Courtois. Okay? Not only that, there were racist chants as well. The match had to stop for 15 minutes. There was no partial closure of the stadium, and the players went and begged those fans to stop throwing things. And then when they scored a goal to tie the game 1-1, the players went and celebrated with those misbehaving fans, those hooligans, rather than showing support to the other ones that were there to support them, the other fans that were there to support them and that they were behaving properly. Now, let me be clear. When I'm criticizing their fans, I'm not criticizing all the fans, just a big sum of them. So, before we move on, let's see what the media front pages were. Boom, 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 boom. Cry, 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 and cries. That's all it is. And you know why this happens? It's not because it really is that controversial. This happens because Gilmarín, the CEO and owner of Atlético, is very close with Juanma Castaño, who we have a few clips in this channel of him, Juan Ignacio Gallardo, who's in charge of, I believe, Marca, Fernando Burgos, who works with Onda Cero, I believe. So you have the three directors of TV programming for sports be very close with Gilmarín and Cerezo, the two owners of Atlético de Madrid. In conclusion, a club that has spent over €1 billion in their roster and in their staff in the last 10 years, and for a coach that gets paid $20 million a year, being the second highest or highest paid coach in Europe, I think the expectation should be more. And it's not the club that I follow. I have no attachment to them. I just like the rivalry. But that rivalry has been taken to a place that it shouldn't be taken. And maybe, other fans are at fault for the criticism and the mockery. But I think that it also starts from within that club. We just showed you a few things that we have problems with. And perhaps I was being a little too general with referring to the fans. So we just want to mention that all clubs have a certain type of fans that we are trying to stay from, behaviors that we're trying to stay away from. There's a lot of those fans in Real Madrid, in Barcelona, in Valencia, in Sevilla, and outside of Spain too. It happens everywhere. But as a club, that stuff needs to be contained. That's one general thing. I like the fact that they also have huge Argentinian followers because they have so many Argentinian players, and obviously the coach being Argentinian. And as much mockery they get for that, I think Argentinian fans are amazing. I have yet to meet on a personal level, I have yet to meet an Argentinian that I've never liked. I think they're amazing, and they're very knowledgeable in football. So that just says something. And Atletico has done an outstanding job in, where they were, 12, 15 years ago, to where they are now. Not to mention that historically, I think they've been around a little bit longer than Real Madrid, and they've been one of the main clubs that is nationally and historically known in Spain and around the world. So the brand is there. I think the trophies need to start coming for them. And besides that, I just, Simeone, who seems like a fantastic person, I think needs to change the format that he has created as far as coaching Atletico, and how the team has to perform in crucial times. I think the same tactic again and again and again isn't going to cut it. And while I was trying to release this before the game on Sunday, yesterday, which I'm going to end up doing it after, Barcelona and Atletico played Barcelona this weekend, and with a 2-0 lead and with 23 minutes left into the game, Barcelona came back and scored 4 goals. 4 goals, which resulted in a 2-4 defeat for Atletico. And that also means that they're probably not in the race for La Liga anymore. So it was a very hard week for Atletico, because it's just not enough for Simeone to be cheerleading and coaching at the same time and trying to get the fans involved and then having the fans applaud a loss. It's just not fair to a fan. And it's easier said than done, you know what I mean? But we've just seen Simeone be there. And he, like I said, he changed the culture of Atletico. They defend it really well. They're the masters at defending. But what good is being a great defender if you cannot score a goal when you need it? And it's not for lack of roster. It's not because they don't have the players. They have outstanding, amazing players. And they've invested a lot into that roster and that club and that structure and their project. But the results need to come. For Atletico, at least. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit a like button, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.